What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Triple M Boxing Channel, your source for all your boxing needs. And last weekend, man, it was eventful. A lot of questions have been answered. The main card was Berlanga versus Sheeraz, but let's go over these three fights, man. The first one we'll go over Morrell versus Katayev. First things first, man. I thought our boy from Canada won. Well, not really from Canada, but he's managed by a team in Canada.
Yeah,
I thought Katayev won, man. I was quite shocked on that decision.
man, it was really. I wouldn't even say it's a close fight. I'd say it's a fairly fair. It's a fairly close fight, but it's not a robbery by any chance. But I think the knockdown made a difference for Katayev to pull off the win. That's just in my opinion after watching the fight. Now, granted that there's other issues with Katayev testing positive and all that, but at the end of the day, he was able to fight. He was able to hurt Morrell, and kudos to him. With only 10 fights, he was able to make Morrell fight a different style, because Morrell is used to throwing a lot of counters, a lot of volume. But Morrell was just pot-shotting all night, and he was committing a little bit towards the end, but I think his strength, Katayev's strength and power, made a difference that fight. I really thought he won, but the judges saw differently, in my opinion. But what do you think of the fight in general?
I thought Morrell could have really, if he fought the way he fought in the last half of the fight, if he maintained that kind of style throughout the whole fight, I think it would have been a clear decision victory for Morrell.
Yeah.
Because like you said, man, he was just pot shotting. He was playing around. As soon as he got dropped, he started bowing. It's like, bro, don't bow. This ain't a show. Come on.
They were touching gloves every round. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Sparring? I get all that, but do that after the fight.
It was weird, man. It was really weird. And on the other hand, Katayev, his fighting style is so weird. He's walking towards you with his hands down.
Hands down.
Mind you, his head movement was actually not bad. He slipped a lot of punches. He has good boxing IQ, in my opinion. And it was just a weird matchup in my opinion. But again, I thought Katayev won. It was a close fight, but again, if Morrell can fight like how he did in the last part of it, I think he's going to be a problem in 175. I didn't think so before, but I think he very well might be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, both Davids, obviously Benavidez and Morrell, they have yet to prove they kind of belong at 175. That's just my opinion, because David Morrell's first fight against you, or Hot Shot, what's his name, Radvik or something, at 175, he won by decision, but obviously, he wasn't able to hurt Hot Rod. He was, it was fairly close. He edged it out a little bit. Obviously, with David Benavidez, he lost, although that fight was still, pretty close-ish, but it's clear that David Benavidez won. And then now with the Katayev, which arguably you could say he lost. I think David Morrell still has a lot of proof, after we talked about that he could be the next big thing at 175. There's still a long way to go, because now they're fighting bigger guys. These guys it's obvious. Same with David Benavidez. Now he's about to fight Anthony Yard, a real 175 pounder. We'll see how he does. So we don't know yet. But I think that mystery is still, we still don't know how they're gonna do. But we'll see, because I want to see these guys succeed. I just really thought he lost. I think a rematch will be, will give us an answer to our questions. But I'd say Katayev is like a quote unquote poor man better BF, just brute strength. He didn't respect David's power, because his hands were down the whole time. He was there, man. He was ready to go to war. It's just Morrell didn't commit, which is a smart move, because Katayev is a strong dude. But I want to see a rematch, and I want to see them, get in the ring again and actually make it and I'm sure it's gonna be a better fight because Morrell, I'm hoping, will be down to scrap more.
Hopefully. Now the next fight, this one I was quite shocked in, man. Shakur versus Zepeda. You know, the previous episode we did where I was saying, oh yeah, Shakur's gonna run around the ring, blah 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 blah. He changed it. I think he shut up a lot of people
He said
with
it.
this performance.
Yeah, he said it. He said it post fight. He said he had something to prove, even though he kind of did it. What I noticed with Shakur though, man, because the last few fights, people are saying he was running, but at the end of the day, like it takes two to tango. Obviously, Shakur is a boxer. He's gonna move back and pot shot you, but the other people weren't able to get to him. That's why it looks so boring. But obviously, I told you, Cepeda is gonna come to fight regardless of what happened, and that could be a nightmare to Shakur. But I was wrong. You know what it did is just literally just highlighted Shakur's skills, highlighted that Shakur can kind of Floyd Mayweather that guy, which he did. You know, he was slippery, and he was there. He was literally staying in the ropes, countering. And I thought that was a great performance. You know, we lost money, but seeing Shakur put on a performance like that is really, it really brings him back and reminds us that he is still the top guy. Him and Tank. I think that just sets up bigger fights because now people kind of is reminded again that he's able to do that, and I think that style is close to being unbeatable. Floyd Mayweather. If he can box you like that all night, it's a wrap, man. But what do you think of that performance?
I thought it was freaking amazing, bro. Do you think he got hurt?
No,
Shakur? I don't think he got hurt at all.
I think it was his timing. He got punched, but when he set his foot, he slipped somewhere. Because if you watch it, he got punched and then he slipped. Although as judges, you don't have that. You don't have the replay during the fight, right? To be honest, when I first seen it, I thought he got hurt. But if you watch the replay, he did slip after receiving the punch. Although it was still it was a stiff jab from Cepeda. It was pretty hard.
Not gonna lie with you, when I saw that, I'm like, we're about to make some money.
That was early. That was second or third round. That's why I was like that. When I saw it too, I'm like, oh man, because I was like, why is Shakur sitting there for two? Like he was fighting back, but he was sitting on the ropes. I'm like, damn. I'm like, it's too early. But he adjusted. He was able to piece Cepeda up. Like Shakur it's not only his defense, but not only his defense is countering, but he was accurate. He landed 50% of his punches, and he still landed more than Cepeda. Cepeda threw almost twice as much as Shakur, and Shakur landed more. That's how accurate he was that night, and he deserved to win.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that Shakur answered a lot of those questions, those unanswered questions, and I'm pumped to see him fight more, man. If he keeps this up, man, it'd be insane.
Who do you want to see him fight next? Obviously, Tank is not. That's not a question. We want to see him against Tank, and that's going to be, like I said, this just makes it more interesting. But other than Tank, who would you want to see him scrap?
Oh man, see that's hard because after this fight, I'm like, man, the next fight that makes sense, in my opinion, it would have to be Tank. Although Tank has the stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself who else would challenge him? Who would really test him out?
I think if you don't get Tank, either get Schofield again because Schofield just beat the brakes out of Tevin Farmer in one round. I think that would be good because they made the fight happen already before, so they can make it again. If you don't get Schofield and you don't get Tank, and Tank doesn't fight Roach, hey, why not get Freddie Roach? I mean Lamont Roach. Why not get Lamont Roach? If you're able to beat Lamont Roach, and he was in a draw, even though I thought with that knockdown he won that. If they counted that knockdown against Tank, but with that draw against Tank and you're able to beat Roach, I think that'll set up a lot of hype saying, hey, Shakur is able to beat Roach, but Tank could. And that'll set up the fight with Tank, you know. So I think those two are great options if you don't get Tank, man. I think, you know, if that's the case, if you don't get all three, I think it's just time to move up because Shakur is huge for his weight class.
In other ways too, if you know what I mean. Pause.
Oh,
Anyways, the main event.
McGregor.
The main event. I was excited about this. I told everybody we should have put money on this.
Yeah, you
Edgar
should.
Berlanga versus Sheeraz. Man, what an uneventful night for the New York, the New York native, the king of New York, man. What were your thoughts watching this fight? Did you expect this to happen?
No, I told you. I thought it was gonna be a close fight. I thought it was Berlanga gonna go to work, but I was wrong again. And that's what I love about boxing. You know, one guy moving up, but obviously at that night there was Sheeraz looks massive. He looks, for someone that's jumping from 160 to 168. I think he was a little drained at 160. Now at 168, he's more comfortable, and he's showing his power. Again, that was the question that we needed answers to coming to the fight, because he was a smaller guy, but obviously he wasn't. Berlanga, although he looked heavy coming in, Berlanga always does. The fight started off really slow. There's a lot of testing the waters the first 2 rounds until the knockout happens. Great performance by Sheeraz, man. The sky's the limit. There's a lot of hitters at 168. I think he's one of them now. Although Berlanga, that's a good win. I think he needs a few more wins to get Canelo, because Turkey's saying he gets Canelo right away. I think there's other people that's more deserving at 168. And Billy, that's one. Pacheco, even, there's a lot of people that are still deserving to get Canelo before Sheeraz. But if Sheeraz gets to those guys like the Plants, the Munguia, the Ryder's done. But yeah, Billy and all that stuff, I think he'll have he might be trouble against Canelo. But then again, Canelo needs to beat Bud first, September 13th. But what do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. And just the fact that he was the smaller guy going into this fight. If we're looking towards the future and what's happening in September, Crawford Canelo. Now that's just giving me more like, oh snap.
Yeah,
that fight might go a different way than we think it's going. And like this fight alone, just seeing Sheeraz put him down, what was it, 3 times?
Yeah, it should have been just 2. The ref,
2.
It was the last 10 seconds after the second knockdown, and the ref was just counting very slowly. I know he's just trying to make it to the last round. I mean, the bell, and that's what happened. Edgar came in the 5th round. He was still buzzed. It took like 1 shot, and he was already wobbled. They shouldn't have gotten to that point, but yeah.
Yeah, that first knockdown too, like that, he was. It looked like he was almost out.
Yeah.
Literally almost out. That just goes to show that, bro, the man has power.
And he smelled blood. That left hook landed, and he saw just a little bit of Berlanga's legs going, bro. He just I was like, damn. And then Berlanga went down and did the tank or whatever. But that's it takes that's a great accomplishment to go in to New York to fight the local guy where he's comfortable in. That's his home court. A lot of fans. To do that, in the main event, that sets up a lot of opportunities. Like I said, I just don't think it's Canelo yet. There's still a lot of people that he has to go through. Maybe just 1 or 2 more that he has to go through to beat him to get Canelo. Like I said, assuming Canelo wins. If not, I guess he gets Bud. But
that'd be an insane fight.
These guys are way bigger guys now. Like Sheeraz, when Berlanga fought Canelo, Berlanga looked like twice as big as Canelo. Sheeraz looked twice as big as Berlanga that night. So imagine if he takes on the Canelo. Hell, a Crawford, you know what I mean? So I think that's gonna be a reach. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man.
One way to find out, man. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Did you think that Morrell won that fight? Did Kataev win that fight? Did Shakur change your thoughts? I've seen him perform on Saturday. Did Berlanga have an amazing performance? Is he still the king of New York? Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, we're the opposite end.